The first process in project integration management is develop project charter. Before we get into the definition, you need to remember one thing. Project charter is not, again I'm saying, project charter is not project management plan. I hope you already know it, but I just want to emphasize. By the way, I hope you remember two key points about project charter. First one, project charter not only authorizes the project but also authorizes the project manager. In fact, it's the document that authorizes the project manager to apply organization resources into the project. The second one is project charter will contain high level information about the project. Okay, why you need a project charter? The project charter establishes a partnership between the performing and the requesting organization. In case of external projects, a formal contract is typically the preferred way to establish a contract. Let's look at the dictionary meaning of charter. I would like to highlight two keywords in the definition. It's written and it's legislative power. So, project charter is all about authority given in writing. For some of you, charter may be a new word. You may use something called statement of work instead of project charter in your organization. So you may find this word is completely new. Simply, you can remember that you are taking a chartered plane to Paris. In chartered plane, obviously, you are the boss. In project, you are the boss, you are the project manager. Another important thing to remember, for the PMP examination, you need to imagine that you are working in a big organization managing multi-million dollar project. Okay, going back, it's very important to make it clear who's the project manager for the project and give him or her the authority as a project manager to manage the project. Responsibility without authority is important, said by Abraham Lincoln. It's very much applicable to the project. So, authorizing a project manager will avoid and enable many things in the organization, especially when the project is managed across cross functions. Through the project manager, not only the project manager is authorized, but also the project is authorized to proceed and apply the resources. On top of it, this will bring attention to the project within the organization. No one is surprised when the project manager approaches the organization resource for the support to the project because through the project charter, the existence of the project is already announced across the organization. You can relate project charter is like your appointment letter. The appointment letter confirms that you are an employee in the organization, authorizes you to work in the organization, use the resources to deliver things. Simply, project charter authorizes the project manager to use the organization resources to deliver the project. I must sound repeating certain elements about the project charter, but I do it intentionally. This is to ensure that you clearly understand what is project charter is. All right, now we know that project charter is a document. But what is in project charter? What are its content? Let's understand with a simple example. I'm taking our standard example. Your organization is into consulting commercial building and residential houses and apartments, and you are appointed as a project manager. The project scope is to build residential building and apartments in area number 24, which is located 5 kilometers from the town. You need to deliver 3 types of houses. The first, for CEOs. This will be of villa type with 5 bedroom, swimming pool, a theater, private gym, and a garden. The second one is for executives. It will be of semi-independent villa with 4 bedroom, a common wall shared between 2 villa, and there will be a common garden for those 2 houses. The third, it's meant for the managers, apartment type. This will consist of 3 bedrooms and a common park. Of course, it will be common for all the apartments. I took this specific example because it can cover wide variety of topics as we progress in the discussion. Coming back to project charter, don't forget some of the information from the business documents such as business case and business benefit management plan will be transferred to project charter. This information will validate the alignment of the project with the organization strategy. Let's look at the content of a project charter. The first and foremost, project title and description. Here, we are talking about the title for the project and the description. We describe what is the project is all about. Sometimes you may have the project background information as well, which can go to the project charter. Due to the increase of IT companies in area number 24, it's expected that the demand for number of residential houses will grow in short span of time. So, the organization decided to construct residential apartment which will be 5 kilometers away from the center of town. The next one is project manager. Here we are talking about who will be the project manager and brief about his authority level. Let's see an example. Kevin will be the project manager for this project and will have the authority to select the team member and determining the final project schedule and budget. The next one is benefits to the organization. Here we are talking about the benefits to the organization from this project, answering the question why this project should be taken by the organization. Of course, the detailed business case will have more information about it, so it's okay to have only high-level information here in project charter. Example, by taking up this project in area number 24, the organization can make 20% profit of the investment made. The next one is key stakeholders list. Here we are talking about the key stakeholders of the project. Just to recollect, stakeholders are the people, group, or the organization who will be affected directly or indirectly, positively or negatively by the outcome of the project. Here we are talking about only the list of key stakeholders, not the detailed one that we discussed in the beginning. Remember, we are still at the project charter level. The detailed stakeholder exercise will be done during stakeholder management knowledge area. Okay, coming back to the project charter. This key stakeholder list should cover both the internal and the external. Let's look at some of the examples. First, internal. This project's internal stakeholders are James, the marketing manager, Robert, the architect, David, manager for construction, William, manager for electrical, Thomas, in charge for overall quality. Now, external. The external key stakeholders are, let's say, Mark, CEO of ABC company, Donald, CEO of XYZ company, Charles, CEO of my imaginary organization. Please refer the annexure for other stakeholders list. All right, so coming back, the next one is high-level stakeholders requirement. Let's look at some of the external stakeholders requirement. All the construction must be as per regulation standard 29 CFR. All the doors must be made of teak wood. All windows must be made of compressed wood. Vetified tiles must be used in all the carpet area. The washrooms must have tiles that has high preference for safety. Refer annexure for detailed stakeholders requirements. The next one is high-level product description and the key deliverables. Here, we are talking about what the project is expected to deliver. We already discussed about it. You need to deliver 3 types of houses. First for CEO, second for executives, and third for, apartment for managers. Now, let's talk about the high-level assumptions. Assumptions are believed to be true without a proof. Let's look at some of the high-level assumptions. Approval for the construction is already in place from the government agencies. The specification and standards for all the work that are related to this construction will be as per ISO standard. Please refer annexure for details. Roads within the closed community will be built as per the municipality standard. All right, now let's talk about the high-level constraints. Constraints are the limitation or the boundaries. These parameters may limit the ability to deliver. Let's look at some of the high-level constraints. Approval from the local environmental body is not completed yet. It should be completed within 2 weeks before the groundbreaking ceremony. The drainage must be completed within 3 weeks' time due to other dependencies. Next, let's talk about the high-level project risks. Risks are the uncertainties. They may have positive or negative impact on the project. If this impact is positive, then it's called as opportunity. If the impact is negative, then it's called as threat. We will have a detailed discussion about risk in the project risk management knowledge area. But for now, let's look at some of the high-level risks. Example, in 3 months' time, the rainy season starts. It's expected that the average rainfall will be more than 15% last year. In 5 months' time, a big festival season is coming. Many of the construction resources may go on 2 continuous weeks vacation. The next one is project approval requirements. Here, in project approval requirements, we are talking about the approving authority and other conditions. As we discussed earlier, all the changes must be routed through the change control board. Project sponsor may be part of the change control board. Project manager's authority on approval is also defined here in project charter. For example, the project manager has the authority to approve any change in the project that has an impact of schedule by 2 weeks and the cost impact within $2,500. The next one is measurable project objectives. Here we are talking about measurable project objectives such as milestone, physical feature of product, feature of software, etc. You may include even the final product output. Example, cleaning and preparing the soil for construction should be completed within 2 weeks from the date of project start. Groundbreaking must be completed within 6 weeks. The first phase must be completed within 12 weeks. All right, now the next one is the project exit criteria and or project success criteria. The project charter should contain information about the project exit criteria, that is, when the project can be called as complete. Also, it should contain information about project success criteria because often there are discussions with the stakeholders about project closure because the success criteria are not well defined. Example, quality of all the deliverables will be verified by the internal quality manager and also by the external agency before handing over to the customer. The deliverables must meet all the quality standards. The last one is signing authority. Generally, the project sponsor is the signing authority and he must sign in the project charter to make it official. All right, I hope with this discussion you got a fair idea on the content of project charter. Don't forget, the project charter content will vary widely depending on the kind of project, size of the project, method, procedures, templates followed in the organization. Before we close this topic, let's have a brief discussion on some of the other details you should know about project charter so that you can face the sample examination confidently. Who creates the project charter? The sponsor. The sponsor develops the project charter, but at times the project manager creates a project charter in support and collaboration with the sponsor. But the project sponsor is the one who signs in the project charter, and he is the signing authority. Only then the document becomes official. When should you create the project charter? Early in the project. Generally, the project charter is created during the initiation phase. This authorizes the project, so this should be created as early as possible in the project, ideally after the business documents. Typically, the project charter never ever modified or changed. This is created only once at the beginning of the project during the initiation phase. But there are occasions the project charter can be created at the beginning of every phase of the project. This is completely dependent on the complexity and the nature of the project. However, as mentioned earlier, the project charter should never be changed or modified. In case if the changes are really huge and with the existing project charter, the project cannot be continued, then the current project should be terminated and a new project should be initiated. When should you appoint the project manager? You know the answer. Early in the project. This is not only applicable for the project charter but also for the project manager. The project manager must be appointed as early as possible in the project for the obvious reason, without a project manager, the project cannot move. All right, that wraps up the overview. Let's move to the ITTOs.